only a matter of time. We've seen Biden's performance. We've seen video clips of Biden on stage, falling up the stairs, down the stairs, Air Force One, all these different Biden gaffes. And the far left has been trying to convince the world that these are all modified clips. These are edited videos, and Joe Biden is mentally sharp. Joe Biden doesn't have dementia. Joe Biden doesn't have Alzheimer's, and all these other different things. This is basically what the left has been trying to convince us for a long time. But and a lot of people are looking at this debate from a couple of days ago between Donald Trump and President Joe Biden on CNN, and they're now like, oh wow, like they can't hide this from us. And so folks are coming out of the woodworks. We're hearing from House Democrats, and they've made a very shocking decision recently about President Joe Biden, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, among other things. But what's going on, guys? If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. What's up, Drew Down 87? What's up, Carol, Brenda Jackson, Keenan Ripon, Fed Up Patriot? What's going on, Jackie, Alice? All right. But yeah, I mean, they've been trying to lie to us for a long time, gaslighting us, telling us, the economy is fine. People are making more money. People have more money in their bank accounts and their investment accounts. Their 401ks are strong. And while that may be true for many people, it's not true for everyone. Inflation is real for everyone, whether it's inflation in the grocery stores, we see it in the gas pumps. We're seeing asset inflation in, look at real estate. I mean, a lot of people who want to buy a house today cannot afford to buy a house. Look at interest rates, right? We've heard from the Federal Reserve. They were supposed to be delivering on this amazing Federal Reserve rate cut, and they keep pushing that out further and further and further. But, the thing is with the whole presidential Donald Trump Biden debate on CNN, it was eye-opening, and that was something they couldn't hide. This was on CNN. This was on their preferred news network platform, and it was a disgrace. And it wasn't just 90 minutes of Biden spacing off and forgetting where he was, and Jill Biden congratulating him for simply answering questions like he was a kindergartner. This is the president on display, and it is the revelation of what we've known about Biden for the last 3.5 years. This is a mental decline that cannot be hidden. So I think at this point, it's less about the debate and it's more about revealing the truth to the American people that people haven't seen. Happy Independence Day. Happy July 4th, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Anybody setting fireworks off anymore? Like when I was growing up, we used to set off fireworks as a kid, in the driveway and maybe in the cul-de-sac. I don't know if anybody does that anymore. Do you go to watch fireworks because it's maybe safer or whatnot? But anyway, House Democrats, they're now calling on President Joe Biden to step down. And this is coming after they suddenly, this was not sudden. None of this was sudden, guys. This is coming after they suddenly realized that he might not be fit to represent their Democratic Party this November. What's up, Freedom? Appreciate the big five, my friend. Good morning, sir, from Bakersfield, California. 111 degrees on 4th of July. Best news I heard on America's birthday. So appreciate you, brother. So it's kind of weird that they're just now finding out about this when most of us knew about Biden's condition from the very beginning. However, of course, things are a lot more serious now that they're looking for the next best option, right? So President Joe Biden has tried to reassure allies as well as donors that he's fine. He's okay. He's like, yo, I'm good. I got this thing. Wait, where are the stairs? But, he was just tired is what he says. And that he's ready for another run at the White House. Now, I already looked at his schedule, and you guys can check it out on the previous video. I documented Joe Biden's schedule. He tried to claim how tired he was, but he had days upon days in between like events. So I don't know how much time you need to recover from these little couple hour events he might have to show his face at. I think it's complete bull. But the simple fact of the matter is that more and more voters are now saying that he's done. Biden's done, and there's not a whole lot else that he can do at this time. And now is the time to pick a possible replacement, right? And so what we're looking at here is at the top of the list is Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, you know it's bad when they're saying that the vice president is a better option compared to Biden, right? I mean, word salad Kamala Harris over Biden. But what we're also hearing are other names getting thrown into the hat that I'm going to discuss a little bit in more detail a little bit later on. But I want you guys to check out this report from the president's own allies now pleading with him to let this election go. Take a listen to this here, guys.
More than 24 House Republicans are reportedly preparing to write a letter to President Biden to end his re-election effort if he continues to be shaky.
So this comes as a pair of congressional Democrats publicly declared they have no confidence in Biden's ability to win and serve another term.
Doug Lazater is live in Washington with all the details here. Hi, Doug.
Good morning, everyone. The president may be in danger now of a widespread revolt among Democrats. Here's what Reuters is now reporting. There are 25 Democratic members of the House of Representatives preparing to call for Biden to step aside if he seems shaky in coming days, according to one House Democratic aide. There is reportedly a staff meeting at the White House as something of a morale booster. And later, the president today will meet with a group of Democratic governors, hoping to convince them that he is capable of serving as president and defeating former President Donald Trump in November. At the same time, there are some cracks now emerging in that wall of support that we have seen from elected Democrats after the president's disastrous debate performance last week. Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett among those now openly talking about the party finding another candidate.
This needed to be a decision that was made much earlier in the process, but I remain hopeful that despite all the input from his own staff and perhaps from some family members, that he'll look at these numbers and realize that this is a hill just too high for him to climb and call on someone else.
I actually don't see a path now for President Biden to stay in this race in the long term. I believe that there are stronger options out there for Democrats. We have a stable of folks that I think could do a better job. I believe that another Democrat would have a better shot at beating Trump.
All right, now let's talk about former President Obama. Officially, publicly, he is still in Biden's corner, but privately, he's concerned. According to the Washington Post, which writes this, Obama has long harbored worries about his party defeating Donald Trump in November, repeatedly warning Biden in recent months about how challenging it will be to win re-election. And the White House just made, for this administration, some extraordinary announcements. The president is going to sit down for a one-on-one interview later this week, and pretty soon he's going to actually have a press conference. These are things.
Wow, guys. Wow. So, I mean, first of all, they had an emergency staff meeting at the White House, guys, about this. Like, it's that serious. It is that serious that there was an emergency staff meeting at the White House. All right. So now what comes after this staff meeting is really important. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, have your notifications turned on. I'm going to be dropping that information as soon as it is released to us. But get this, guys, Obama, and a lot of people look at Biden. They all, we always hear, Obama or Biden, right? Basically, the theory is that, people believe that Obama is actually the one still pulling the strings, working the strings behind Joe Biden's empty suit. And so for Obama to come out and basically say that he's had concerns about Joe Biden's ability to win this re-election, this is a serious issue for Democrats. Liberals are looking at this like, oh man, I don't think that we're going to be able to stay in office. Liberals are looking at Biden like, okay, is it time to bail? Is he really our best option? Can we bring Michelle Obama into this thing? Is it Kamala Harris that needs to replace him? There's some slim pickings here. Now, Obama is one of Biden's biggest supporters, right? To lose his backing now, that would be huge. And it looks like Obama's backing is waning. He's losing patience with Biden, and who could blame him, right? The guy is done. I mean, he needs to be in a nursing home or some kind of like assisted living shelter, not shelter, but an assisted living facility where he can get like legitimate help. He shouldn't be driving. He shouldn't be leading the country. I wouldn't trust him driving on the highway next to me. The guy is dangerous. He forgets where he's at. And it's been rumored that he, together with those who are very close to President Joe Biden, they knew about the situation beforehand. So basically, they all knew that Biden was like this, but yet they still chose to allow him to go out there and embarrass himself. Now, some critics have said that if Joe Biden was a private citizen, they wouldn't even let him drive a car, much less lead the most, if not the most powerful nation in the world, right? Which is why a lot of polls are coming out and they're basically saying, they're talking about this possible replacement. Who is it going to be? Now, I got a list of people that the Democratic Party is eyeing, and let's just say that it's not the best roster, right? But the list of the people that the Democratic Party is looking at possibly replacing Biden, I'm going to share with you guys that list in just a second. But the polls are showing that it is very possible that we see one of these people nominated as the Democratic representative for president. Now, of course, you got Vice President Kamala Harris, Governors Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, Governor Gavin Newsom of California, Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg, however you say his name, Senators Joe Manchin and Bernie Sanders. Now, just to set your expectations from the get-go, the best option in the list is the VP. Now, just go ahead and let that sink in for a second. When your best option is Kamala Harris for president, that leaves a lot of people concerned. Certainly, Democrats. A recent New York Times Siena College poll asked about the possibility of these candidates facing off against former President Donald Trump. Now, based on this New York Times poll, Kamala Harris received support from 42% of respondents. Meanwhile, Donald Trump got 48%. So according to this New York Times Siena poll, Harris cannot beat Donald Trump. Okay. Now, if we compare that to President Joe Biden, who has only 2 points more than Kamala Harris against Donald Trump, Joe Biden has 44% support while Donald Trump still has the 48%. So even Biden is lacking by 4% in this poll. So the next best option being Kamala Harris is still worse off from a poll standpoint than Joe Biden. So, and pretty much every other name that I just listed is expected to lose a presidential election against Donald Trump. So it means that there are some very slim pickings for the Democratic Party. And so Biden is now he's being likened to another Democratic president that we've had decades ago, Lyndon Johnson. Now, or at least that's what they're trying to sell to him as. Johnson famously rejected the nomination to run for president back in 1968. I know a little bit of a history lesson here, but he addressed the nation and said that he would not accept his own party's nomination. If Biden does the same thing, this could be his own LBJ moment, as dubbed by a lot of political commentators. So, but keeping his dignity while giving his party a fighting chance for November. But you're probably wondering at this point, their best bet is Biden, right? I know. But who else could actually take the wheel and possibly run against, Donald Trump? I mean, who could really do it? So Reuters Ipsos survey showed that only one person can win against Donald Trump. And I want you guys to just, before I say this person's name, comment down below who you think the one person who could win against Donald Trump is. Go ahead and type in down below. So while you guys are typing that, there's I was actually looking at this clip earlier from the New York Times, and it says, Biden tells allies he knows he only has days to salvage the candidacy. president's conversations are the first indication that he is seriously considering whether he can recover after a devastating debate performance. The White House said that he has not spoken about leaving the race. Okay. Let's see. Jacob Barlett, what's good, brother? Appreciate the Big 10. Jacob Barlett says, if the Dems replace Biden, I would like to see Jeff Dunham, Walter. Very interesting pick. Jeff Dunham's Walter. Hold on. Jeff Dunham. This guy, comedian. I didn't even know who that was. I was like, who is this guy? American ventriloquist and comedian. Oh my God. So let's see. Appreciate your comment. Freedom, appreciate the Big Five. So the debate fiasco alone should be more than enough proof that Bunker Biden never got legally 81 million votes. Oh yeah. How many of y'all think Biden ever really won the original 2020 election? You know, they got Donald Trump hemmed up with this election interference case with Fannie Willis in Fulton County, Georgia, which, by the way, that case is on hold right now. Fannie Willis is likely to be disqualified or disbarred, whatever the case is. There's a Supreme Court looking over that right now. But, it's like, they try to pin all these cases on Trump, and it looks like all they were doing is using the DOJ to cover up the crimes that they were committing. Did they really get all the votes that they needed to make Biden a winner of the 2020 election? It's looking more and more questionable. Worstest guitar player in the world. Appreciate the big 20 twin. Ron Yates for president. Appreciate the vote of support. Worstest guitar player in the world. Appreciate it. Happy July 4th. I appreciate that. Happy Independence Day to you. All right, so I'm gonna just go through some of you guys' picks for the one person that you think could possibly beat President Joe Biden President Donald Trump in this upcoming election. All right, so I'm seeing P. Diddy in the list. How did P. Diddy get in the list of presidential candidates that could beat Donald Trump? Somebody says Big Mike, Corky Thatcher. I'm seeing a lot of people saying Diddy. Someone says Cher, Michelle Obama. We've got RFK Jr. We've got a lot of people saying Big Mike. Nobody. A lot of people saying nobody. Interesting. Robert Kennedy Jr., Newsom, Ghost. Okay. All right. So basically, the last name of the person is Obama. That is the one person, according to the Reuters Ipsos survey, that they found is the only person that could possibly win against Donald Trump, right? So the last name of that person is Obama. Michelle Obama is cited as the best candidate to take over for President Joe Biden. What do you think about that? The first black female president of the United States, Michelle Obama. Seriously, what do y'all think about Michelle Obama being president of the United States? Is this a viable option? Would she be better than Barack Obama? Would she be better than Donald Trump? Usually, simple questions, legit questions. Hunter Biden. Oh my God. All right. So Michelle Obama, she is cited as the best candidate to take over for President Joe Biden. And the polls showed that she would get 50% of the votes compared to just 39% for Donald Trump. Wow. So according to this Reuters Ipsos poll, Michelle Obama would blow Donald Trump out the water. Now, what do y'all think about this poll? Do you think this poll is right? Or is this, some hyped up numbers, or maybe they're asking a very not so diverse crowd here? Very interesting. But the former First Lady Michelle Obama has already addressed this concern multiple times before, and every time we've heard from her, she said no every single time she was asked, quoting in saying that politics is really hard, and it's got to be in your soul. She is seen as the one person, the sole person who has a chance to win against Donald Trump. And she's not willing to do it. She doesn't want to be president. Michelle Obama's like, nope, don't put my name in the hat. Don't put my name on that presidential ticket. So this is not the news Democrats want to hear. However, crazier things have happened, and it's not impossible for Michelle Obama to change her mind, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's something that someone could say to change Michelle Obama's mind and ultimately get her to say, hey, okay, 4 years, that's it, especially when you consider how many warnings Biden has announced about the possibility of another Trump term. So, let's just say Barack Obama goes to his wife and says, hey, Biden can't do this. Babe, I need your help. I can't be president for another term. I was already president for 2 terms. Our next best options are all worse than what we already have. If Barack Obama was to go to his wife and say, hey, Michelle, I wish I could do a Barack Obama accent, but if he could go to his wife and say, Michelle, I need you to run. You are the only person that can beat Donald Trump. Biden can't make it this last leg of the race. A lot of people are saying that it was a fake poll. Would be surprised. But if they got to that level of desperation, that might be the one call that could make Michelle Obama say, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'll be president, whatever, But I think not a lot of people will be happy with that. It clearly a mixed bag. But it's a real concern. I mean, this means that they're absolutely terrified. Think about it, guys. This means they're absolutely terrified of the former president winning a second term. So what would the Democratic Party, given their history, given what they're willing to do with votes, right? Voter count, okay, elections, voting machines, given the Democratic current condition and the available candidates that could compete against Donald Trump, and they have no other options, what do you think the Democrats will be willing to do to win this thing? That's the real question you got to ask. And, while President Joe Biden publicly says he's ready for November, his tone with allies, it sounds very different. The president is reported to have admitted that he might not be able to salvage his own candidacy. The president goes on multiple times basically admitting right after his poor performance in the debate against Donald Trump, saying, hey, I had a bad debate. I had a bad performance. Biden has admitted it wasn't good. It wasn't good. The president reported to have admitted that he might not be able to salvage his candidacy, showing doubt that he can convince voters to support him at the end of the year. I mean, time is running out. Time is running out, guys. And, he understands that a lot is hanging by a thread. And his performance, his speaking engagements will ultimately decide what's going to happen next. So what do you guys think about this? Will former First Lady Michelle Obama step up to the plate and go for the presidency, or will they take their chances with President Biden still? I mean, they may not have any other options really at this point. Michelle Obama is the only option. Kamala Harris can't do it. She could technically do it, but it looks like, according to these polls, she doesn't have the steam, the firepower, the Democratic backing to pull this off successfully. Jacob Bartlett, appreciate the Big 10, my friend. The Dems would have Biden enact the war. The Dems would have Biden enact the War Act to cancel the elections. I keep hearing about if we go to war, then Joe Biden would end up staying in the presidential Oval Office. But I wonder about that. I need to look into the details, because I got a feeling that this might be something similar to like how we were hearing, oh, you can't have a president and the vice president both being out of the same state. I don't think that that's true either. There's a lot of misinformation kind of floating around. So I think I'm going to have to take some notes on that and follow up and really do some digging to see, because sometimes, these different, sometimes the left will take some information, spread some rumors, and make you think one thing, but it may not really be true. And both sides do it. Both sides do it. It's not just the left. The right does it too. So, but you really always have to do your homework, always have to do your research and see, for real, look up the law, look up the Constitution and read the wording of it. And it can be lengthy, but we need to actually see what it means, because sometimes a reporter, an analyst, an author of an article can take something out of context, and then next thing you know, it goes viral. Everyone's talking about it, and it's like spreading this lie that one person believed to be true, and it's actually not true, and everyone's saying it, and no one really kind of challenges it. So anyway, if you guys haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Guys, I did a previous video about the panic that's now being felt around the Democratic Party. Although allies like Senator Chuck Schumer, they're oddly positive about what's happening with this whole presidential race. Do you guys think they know something that we don't know? Somebody's saying Mike Tyson for president. Oh man, somebody says you better hope they don't call martial law. Yeah, they keep threatening us with that. But anyway, I think they know something that we don't. But anyway, I cover this in a lot more detail in that video. Definitely check that video out. I really appreciate you guys. Happy Independence Day. Happy July 4th. Be careful with those fireworks out there, guys. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.